They've got these beautiful horns right here. This is actually bone. These were the animals that were sharing the space of Caribbean islands before European man showed up. Oh, look at him. He's feeling frisky. This one is looking suspect. Let's see. A little science class here, kiddies. There is an embryo in there. It's not moving. What do you think, Lobo? You like the rhino iguanas? I don't know if these guys like Lobo, though. They get a little nervous around dogs. I thought today we'd hang out with the rhino iguanas. We haven't seen them in a little while. I want to talk a little bit about them and also show you how well Petra is doing after she laid 19 eggs this season. And later on, we're going to go in and we're going to check on her eggs as well, just to see how they're doing. I'll kind of show you guys what to look for when incubating their eggs. Here they are, two beautiful rhinoceros iguanas. These guys can be found on the island of Hispaniola, which contains the countries of the Dominican Republic and Haiti. Now, these are some of my favorite cyclora. I got these guys probably about 6 or 7 years ago now from my friend Dave Morningstar at Starborn Reptiles. Beautiful, beautiful facility he's got. It's actually his home, just like mine. And he's got lots of beautiful tortoises and lizards. And he really gave me a great hookup in the way of these two beautiful rhino iguanas. Now, this is my female Petra. She's a gorgeous lady. These guys are herbivores, and they are eating a wide variety of plants and prepared diets. They love the Fluker tortoise diet. They love the crafted cuisine from Fluker, which is really good. They'll also eat Missouri tortoise chow. Then they eat hibiscus flowers and leaves and mulberry leaves and different weeds that I have right out there on the lawn. And sometimes I let these guys out and walk around near the ponds where they'll nibble on weeds and other vegetation that's growing. Basically broadleaf greens. They don't really like grass that much, as you can see, because it's growing. If they like it, it gets eaten real quick. Now, these guys just had a little snack. They had some Missouri and they had some Fluker diet, as you can see right there. She's going to grab a little bit more, and that's what they do. They just kind of wander around all day and graze. Of course, here in captivity, I feed them 3 times a week, and they do love food time or feeding time. They also share some space. They can see Guapo and Lola over there, but you wouldn't want to mix these guys with any other type of cyclora. And also, it'd be very difficult to maintain more than 1.1 in an enclosure. Sometimes even the 1.1 can fight, but you definitely don't want to have more than one female with a male, because the females have their own territories, and usually what happens in the wild is the male's territory will overlap several different females' territories. So these guys do need a lot of space to roam. In here we have a covered roof, keeps the rain off of most of the area, but they have an area over here where they can get a lot of sun. These guys love to bask. They need that high UVB content. They need a high temperature as well. They'll bask in about 110 degrees, really gets their bodies up and running. They have a hindgut, which means they're a hindgut fermenter. So because they eat vegetation, they need to ferment that vegetation to help break down the cellulose. So they have what's called a hindgut, similar to what a cow has, and horses, and a lot of animals that are vegetarians do have that. So the reason they need that high temperature is to keep their metabolism going, because if they don't have a high metabolism, they're not going to be able to properly digest their food, and that could be problematic for them, especially when we bring them into an area where they're not from native. And you know, here's the thing, here in South Florida, it's a pretty agreeable climate, but we do get those cold nights in the winter, and these animals never experience cold like that. So you have to make sure you have supplemental heat. Where's she going? We'll go visit her in a second. And that's why I have all these heating boxes here with heating elements in there that they can lay on and stay warm. So if they have to remain inside the box for a day or two, that's okay. Now, these guys are also unique because they've got these beautiful horns right here. These are not just like skin, like on a green iguana. Certain green iguanas from certain parts of their range have a rostral horn, but it's really like a spike like this. This is actually bone, and you can see there's 1, 2, 3, and then if you look at her, she's got what you would consider a multi-horn. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's got 5 horns. And you know, when they get bigger and bigger, those horns get more and more prominent. These are the reptiles that were used in those old stop animation Sinbad movies. You know, they would actually use them because they had these horns, or they'd put horns on them, on Cuban iguanas, like Guapo sitting over there. They'd put them on there, and those would be what our heroes would be battling, and that would be the stand-in for a dinosaur. They've also been used as the stand-in for the iguanodon, which of course is one of the first fossilized skeletons of dinosaurs found back in the 1800s. So really, really cool stuff. These guys definitely have a history, both in cinema and in our own prehistory here, because these were the animals that were sharing the space of those Caribbean islands before European man showed up. So these guys were living with the natives there, and they lived in harmony. I'm sure the natives used some of these as food, but they also were able to reproduce, and they didn't have a lot of predators on those islands. In fact, these were the largest animals on their islands, and each island in the Caribbean has a species of Cyclura iguana, and it just turns out that Hispaniola had the rhinoceros iguana. So very, very cool. Now, of course, goats outcompete them for food. Dogs and cats will eat their young and eat the adults. So problematic, to say the least, when the Europeans first came over here. Also, the other problem is whenever you got an island, you're talking about a species that is already endangered because of its range. It's already in a small area. So a natural disaster like a hurricane can wipe out populations. But more importantly, people want the same real estate that these animals love. And that's usually these beach areas where these animals can be found. And so what they do is they build on them, and they take away habitat. And then there's a lot of mortality of these animals on the roads, which is a problem. So you got to just be careful. Now, the good news is that the rhinoceros iguana and the Cuban iguana, right over there, are definitely some of the least endangered of the Cyclura. There are some that are more threatened than the others, and they are well represented here in captivity, and I think they're a fantastic pet. They really are. I mean, look at this, guys. I'm just hanging out with these two. They are enjoying my touch. They show me because they stand up like this, and they keep that tail down. If he was annoyed, he would pull this tail up, and that tail could be used, of course, as a whip. Their jaws are also extremely powerful, so you don't want to get bit by them. Just because they're a herbivore doesn't mean they can't defend themselves. So right now, what he's doing, he loves this. Just give him a nice little scratch, and he is just enjoying it so much, man. I love it. How cool is this? Awesome stuff. Now, if you look right here, you see some bulges there. That's where he has his hemipenes. All right, lizards have 2 penises. They're called hemipenes. So he can procreate whether he's on either side of that female. So basically, if one doesn't serve him, he's got a backup. Not bad, dude. I hear you. So anyway, there he is. That's how you know he's the male. He's also a little bit larger, and he's more pronounced. Oh, look at him. He's feeling frisky. More pronounced head humps and more pronounced jowls. You look at her, she's got those dainty little jowls. But then you look at this guy. Oh, look at that big fat jowl. And that's filled with meat and muscle, which helps, of course, clamp down on stuff, as well as these. Look at these big. He almost looks like that dinosaur, the Pachycephalosaurus. I said that before, but I love it, man. Awesome lizards, really cool. And every year, for the last 5 years, I've been getting offspring from them. They hatch out in October, so not too long from now, we are going to do an update, and you're going to see a video with baby rhinos from Petro and Petra. So that's really exciting. Some of you may have purchased one of them before. They're awesome pets, as I was saying, because they can tame up nicely, and they become very used to people. In fact, here I am hanging out with them, and they are just doing fantastic. She's just sauntering away. She's got such a cool walk. But anyway, they do really good as long as you have the space and the means to take care of them. They do require a lot of space. They're an active reptile. I think they're intelligent reptile, and they do need some really good enrichment. So that's what we try and do here. We've got a large area, a lot of places for them to walk up. We've got places for them to sunbathe, to dig, to do all the things they need to do, and of course to get out of the sun in that shelter. So they're just really walking around. Now it's an overcast day, so it's a little bit cooler here. So these guys, I'm I'm really happy that they did eat as much as they have. I put a little bit of food. I knew that it wasn't going to be a super hot day, so they weren't going to be that active. So I put a little bit of food in that Fluker food bowl, and they're doing really, really well. So they came out to see what I was up to. They came out to say hello to you guys. I just love their statuesque appearance. They do look like they were carved out of stone, and that's part of the reason I named them Petro and Petra, because it's almost like looking at these petrified monuments, these dinosaurs from the bygone era. I don't know, but I love them. I think they're fantastic animals. So why don't we now take a little walk? I'll catch you up on a couple other things. We'll leave these two to kind of roam around their enclosure. Oh yeah, it's getting harder for me to get up out of there. One thing I regret in my design of their enclosure is not making it tall enough for me. That was a bonehead move. I should have made this a little bit taller, because you know what? I'm always hunched over like Quasimodo, and you got to look that up. So anyway, if you don't know, we got the cherry heads are doing well. We have a cherry head that was digging here whilst I was feeding, but I think what are you doing over there, Lobo? Lobo, come. Not allowed over there. Lobo is eating the tortoise food, and that is not something he's allowed to do. But you can see there was a cherry head going ahead doing his thing. Come on, Lobo. Come on, boy. We'll just show you what's going on. Oh, hey, I want to show you something really cool. Do you guys remember the video we did with the alligators? Like just one video, 2 videos before this? I think it was 2 videos before this one. Yeah, I want to show you something really cool. So I filmed at 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay, and as you saw, there was just 2 puddles. Okay, 2 puddles the alligators were in. Well, that afternoon we got a pretty good rainstorm, and it's been raining pretty consistently since then. I want to show you what the pond looks like now. Check it out. This is just literally from one afternoon of rain. How awesome does this look, friends? I mean, this is gorge. The pond is just looking amazing. So do you think they're hiding in there? I do. I think the gators are hanging out, doing their own thing, but the water looks good. Looks like chocolate milk, man. That is perfect alligator habitat. I love it. I don't know if anyone's gonna pop up their head or not, but this video is not really about alligators. I just wanted to share with you how things change quickly here in South Florida in our environment. It's an amazing place, and it dumped a lot of water on us during that thunderstorm. So very happy about that, because I've been whinging about the fact we have not had a lot of rain. It can be a pain in the neck. What are you gonna do? Hey, what's up, dude? That's a black throat right there. Might as well say hello. See the blackie? A little black throat right there. Here he is, Whippet and Devo. These guys have all been fed. There's, okay, more area. And we're walking. Here is the back side of the pond. Lobo, here! Come on, boy! Of course, the rec pond's looking good, but we're gonna go inside. We're gonna finish this video off because I wanna show you what the eggs are doing. Basically, I dug the eggs up in very late July and put them in the incubator. It's a little dark, don't mind it. A little dark in here. Let's turn on a light, bam. And yeah, so here's what we got. We got an incubator filled with lizard eggs. So we've got 2 containers of rhinoceros iguana eggs. This one was from a blue iguana. The blue iguana, remember I had it, she laid some eggs. Well, it turns out only 3 kept. I wanted to keep this to show you what it looks like when an egg goes bad. It almost petrifies itself. But let's look first at the rhino iguana eggs. So what I do is I keep them at 86 degrees, okay? And we use the suspended incubation method. Don't mind the mess, friends. It is what it is. I take a paper towel and I moisten it, squeeze out all excess water. And this enables me to see visually how much humidity is in there. And then look at these plump eggs, okay? She had laid 19, I think, well, let's see, what do you got? 1, 2, 3, that's 4. There's 8, 9 in this container. So we have 9 here. I know a few of them didn't make it, which is normal. Not all of them make it. So, oops, sorry. Let's go ahead and put them back in. You try and be gentle with the eggs. We don't want to rotate them. So we had 9 in there. Oh, look at this. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. She did it. They're all good. Although this one is looking suspect, and I don't like that. This one doesn't look good. So 18 eggs. Okay, and that's exactly why I came in here, because I want to check. So you see there was some mold. some mold had developed, but all these other eggs are nice and firm. And what will happen is when they're close to hatching is when they'll start to dent. It's still too early to have a dent, so I knew something was wrong with this one. And when you flip it over, it's got some mold. So maybe it got wet from the water below. How unfortunate for us. You know what I'll do? It would kind of, this egg's definitely not looking too good, but maybe we'll, let's open it up and see what's going on in there. We'll go ahead and do a little egg opening here to see what's going on inside. I don't know if there's going to be an embryo in there because this yolk, or rather the shell, is definitely messed with. But I was going to pull this egg and get rid of it anyway, because usually when there is that much of a mold on it, it's no good. So this is just, let's see, a little science class here, kiddies. I hope nothing's alive in here, to be honest. No, there is an embryo in there. There is an embryo in there. Yep, there's an embryo, but it's not alive. It's not moving. But there is a little embryo, sadly. This was a fertile egg, and unfortunately it got moldy and the embryo died. So that's a problem. But I had to pull it because you don't want mold to kind of go ahead and infect any of the other eggs. So if this got more and more moldy, it would have infected it. So it's sad we lost this one guy, but I'm glad I spotted it. I'm glad I checked on the eggs and we pulled it out. There are things you could try to do. Oh, here's a dog and a wife. Hey, everyone's home. So basically, there are some things you can try and do, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to get to it quick enough. So very sad. But hey, we still have 18 other eggs. I got to get going. It's date night tonight. She's not too thrilled with the gross egg in my hand.
Yeah, I'm thrilled with date night.
Yeah, date night she's thrilled with. Anyway, there you go, folks. I'm going to go ahead and dispose of this and say goodbye to you. And I hope you guys have a great weekend, week, wherever you may be. Don't forget, you can watch a lot more videos here on this channel. Just go ahead and peruse the many videos we have. So, okay, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you all again real soon. See ya.